Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hey there, kids. How are you doing? I hope you had a look at the submission video and it made sense to you on how to go ahead and make the submissions. So let's get started with today's class. Let's talk a little bit about what we are going to do today, a little bit about the certificate program that we have, and a little bit about the purpose of this course. So let's start off with the certificate program. Like you all might know by now, we have announced a certificate program wherein you can go ahead and get a certificate at the end of any course. Now, what is the concept? How do you get a certificate? Now, you can get a certificate by going ahead and attending all the classes of any course. For example, if you're going ahead and attending the festive drawing course that I am doing right now, then just go ahead and attend all of the 4 classes. That's step number 1. Step number 2 would be to go ahead and make the submission for each of the classes that you attend. Now, if you, for example, again, if you're talking about the festive drawing course, then just go ahead and make the submission for all of the 4 classes, and by the end of the whole course you will go ahead and get a certificate. Now the concept of this mainly is for us to provide you with a proof or identification that you've gone ahead and taken a course like this, for you to go ahead and have a proof or identification that you have learned something on these lines. For example, if you're talking about the festive drawing course, then it could be a sort of identification that you have gone ahead and learned the skill of drawing, and you've also gone ahead and learned the skill of drawing in reference to or in subject to festivals, and this could be the major 4 festivals. So what it kind of gives you is like an identification or a concept that, okay, I have done something like this. If someone later on in the future wants to know or wants to sort of have like a understanding of what you have learned in your growing years. So that is what our whole concept basically is. Now, why attend all of the classes of any course? One is basically, if you go ahead and attend all of the classes of each of the courses, then what happens is you'll have a better understanding of each of the topics that we're taking. For example, when you're talking about festival drawing, you'll go ahead and have a better understanding of all festivals rather than just one festival. And for example, if it's, depiction and the concept of what we are doing right now, depicting any festival, if you do multiple festivals, then what will happen is you'll learn how to go ahead and, work with the concept. So the concept that we are working with right now is basically taking a festival and then depicting it. So if you do multiple festivals in that manner, you learn how to go ahead and depict multiple festivals with me. And then later on, if you have to do it by yourself, you'll be able to do it much better because you've learned how to, understand and take different elements and do it. So that is the very most important thing when it comes to attending all of your classes. Now, what is the point of the submission? The point of the submission mainly is for us to go ahead and see how well you're doing it, or whether you're able to understand what we're teaching you right now. If you go ahead and make your submissions, then I'll get a better understanding whether I should make it easier, harder, or simpler, whatever it is on whichever lines, for you to go ahead and learn better. So definitely, please go ahead and make all of your submissions. It will be good for you and for me when it comes to our learning process. Now let's come down to what the purpose of this course is and what the purpose of this class is. Now the purpose of this course, and though it's the last class, is mainly to go ahead and depict whatever we are seeing around us in terms of festivals. So we all, have so many festivals, whether it is a personal festival, whether it is a community festival that we have. We do celebrate a lot of festivals, and here we've picked 4 community festivals and we're depicting that on paper. So whatever we've seen around us, we're just depicting that on paper. And that's like a very essential thing, because whatever we are experiencing in real life, if we can go ahead and depict on paper, then what will happen is it'll give us a larger understanding on how to go ahead and do so with any situation. So festivals, like the elements of a festival, what people do in a festival, everything, we live it. Depicting it on paper just makes it so much easier for us to go ahead and understand and create later on. So it creates a sense of our imagination, it works on that and everything. So that is the purpose of this course. Now what are we going to be doing in today's class? In today's class, we're going to be basically working with Christmas as our festival, the festival of the winter, wherein we have a lot of candy, it's a little cold, we have Christmas trees, we have Santa Claus, we have snowmans, we have all of that. Though in India it does not snow, especially in the southern regions. In the northern regions, up ahead, up on top, we do have a little bit of snow going on, but not here, unfortunately. But still, Christmas is. These elements are very essential to Christmas, and it's something that we've all grown up around, right? Even if we aren't Christian, it's something that we have gone ahead and seen around us very often. So it could be like a great festival for us to go ahead and depict the day. So let's get started with what we need for today's class. Then we can move on to the drawing part of the class. Something to remind you of before we go ahead and start off with the class is that this class is going to be in the format of us drawing in class, you outlining and coloring as part of your homework. So like we have done with all of the other 3 classes, the same pattern that we're going to be following. Basically just drawing in class, because the main focus is to draw, after which the outlining and filling in of color will be your something to do as part of homework, and then to make your submission. So make sure of that and remember that. So let's get started. So let's start with what we need for today's class. The first thing that we need for today's class is basically going to be a sheet of paper. Now here you can see I have 100 or 150 GSM sheet of paper, which is basically in a sketchbook format. If you have a journal, sketchbook, drawing book, anything with you as of now, you can go ahead and use that. If you do not have any of these and you want to go ahead and use an A4 size sheet of paper, that is also completely all right. If you do not want to use an A4 size sheet of paper, but you want to go ahead and use any unruled sheet of paper, that will also work. You can use whichever you like. So that is completely up to you. The next thing that you need for today's class is going to be a pencil. Now try to have a nice sharp pencil. You do not want something that's very blunt and not dark. Here you can see I have a nice dark pencil with me. Now the reason we have a dark pencil mainly is because if you draw it out, it just makes it easier for you to see the outlining later, and for you to go ahead and color in later. So make sure that you have a nice dark and sharp pencil. The next thing that you need for today's class is going to be a sketch pen or a bunch of sketch pens. Now here I have one black marker, and that is what I'm going to be using for today's class. But the sketch pens that you want to use is completely up to you. Like I mentioned in my previous classes and in today's class, The number of sketch pens that you want to use is up to you. For example, if you draw a Christmas tree today, and you want to go ahead and do a green outline for your Christmas tree, definitely go ahead and have a set of sketch pens with you. But if you feel like no, you want to follow what I am doing right now, which is just to go ahead and use a black marker, then just go ahead and grab a black marker. Next thing that you will need for today's class is going to be a bunch of colors. Now, for today's session, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using some crayons. Now, what colors you want to use is completely up to you. In the last few classes, I've been going ahead and using color pencils, but what you want to use is completely up to you. If you have paints, if you have crayons, if you have sketch pens, if you have, let's say you have oil pastels, soft pastels, whatever you have at home, the coloring bit is up to you. So you can go ahead and use whatever you have for the same. Now let's get started with the drawing part. Now, taking my blank sheet of paper, I'm going to be going ahead and adding in these couple of elements for my drawing. The first thing is basically going to be to draw a Christmas tree right at the center. That's going to be my main focus. Once I've gone ahead and done a Christmas tree right at the center, on one side, I'm going to be going ahead and drawing a snowman. And after that, on the other side, what I'm going to be going ahead and drawing is so on one side, we're going to be going ahead and drawing a Christmas tree. On the other side, we're going to be going ahead and drawing a bunch of candy canes and gifts. That's going to be the main part of our drawing. So let's get started. So right at the center of the page, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and draw a simple curve like this. Now, though we normally have like a completely covered triangle on top, I want to go ahead and add in a star right over there. So I'm not going ahead and completing it out, just drawing two curves like this so that a star can sit on top. Once you're done with these two curves, I want you to go ahead and add a wiggly line at the bottom. That is mainly going to be for us to have the fluffy part of the tree. So like you can see, very, very simple, two lines, wiggly part and the top empty for your star. The next step is going to be to go ahead and continue the same. So two curves coming out on the wiggly line like so. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm adding in the layers of the Christmas tree. Like you've always seen a Christmas tree tends to have like a bunch of layers. It's never like one big tree. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So first layer, second layer, third layer, we're going to do the same. So curve, curve and layer. Perfect. Now here, what you can go ahead and do is, this is again up to you. You can go ahead and add in more layers if you have like a larger sheet of paper. Now, if you have a small sheet of paper, you will not need to go ahead and add in many layers. But if you do have like a big sheet of paper larger than the sheet that I am using right now, you might need to go ahead and use like many more layers. So just have a good judgment on what you need to basically do and then add in more or less depending on whatever you need. I'm going to be waiting here for a second just in case you've made any mistakes, you've gone ahead and done something wrong. So you can go ahead and correct it out immediately and then we can continue with the rest of the drawing. I think everybody's doing a good job. It's looking very beautiful and nice. All right, so well done. Everybody's done a good job. Let's continue. So next part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw the trunk of the tree. So I've just gone ahead and done two straight lines coming down, and I've gone ahead and done a wiggly line at the bottom, sort of like snow at the bottom of the tree. So now here, if you feel like, you want to just not draw the snow and just draw two lines coming down, completely again, up to you. If you want to go ahead and add another layer and not have a trunk, that is also completely up to you. You can go ahead and change up the picture depending on what you like and what you dislike. So once you're done with this, let's move on. The next part, like I mentioned, is going to be to add the ornament on top. Now, though I may have been mentioning that I'm going to be doing a star, I just realized that I am not doing a star, whereas I'm going to be going ahead and drawing another Christmas hat. So if you've seen the Christmas hat, the red ones, that's what I'm going ahead and doing. So what I've done is I've done a double line curve right on top. So that's the first thing that you have to go ahead and do. Once you're done with the double line curve, go ahead and add in two curves and a ball on top to add in a Christmas hat. So I'm just going to wait. A Santa Claus hat is basically what I've gone ahead and done. So I'm just going to wait for you to go ahead and draw the same. Now, in this much, if you've gone ahead and made any mistakes, please go ahead and correct it right away. I do not want you guys to have any mistakes anywhere, so that you have to go ahead and erase it out later once all the elements are already filled up. You do not want to do that. So please go ahead and correct it out immediately so that you don't have to erase anything later on. Good job. I think everybody is doing a wonderful job. Well done. Let's continue. The next step is basically going to be to decorate your tree. Now, the decorations on a tree are completely up to you. Here you can see I'm just doing a bunch of simple decorations. Mainly, I'm just doing a bunch of stars, circles, and like maybe a few triangles and a few squares. So now to give you like a bigger idea of what all you can draw, and I'm going to wait for you to go ahead and do this. I do simpler ones purposely so that you can use a little bit of your own creativity. So I'm going to give you some ideas, pick out and choose whatever you like and then do those. So A is stars, like I mentioned. 2 could be the balls that I have gone ahead and done. 3 could be tiny presents. So probably doing squares with a bunch of ribbons on top could be the third option. Fourth option could be drawing a bunch of bells. Fifth option could be drawing like a bunch of candy canes. If you've ever seen candy canes, you know what I mean. Or you can go ahead and draw a bunch of string lights on it. So again, I'm giving you many options. I do not want you to have like the same simple like drawing that I have done. Try to use your creativity. Try to go ahead and add in something of your own in this as well. So again, just waiting for a second. Go ahead and add in whatever you like. Good job, everybody. I think everybody's doing a wonderful job. Well done. Great. So since everybody's added everything in, let's continue. The next step is basically going to be to draw the snowman himself. So for the snowman, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting with the snowman's head. I've gone ahead and done a curve again. I want the snowman to be wearing a hat, not a Christmas hat this time, but a normal hat. So I've gone ahead and done a U like so. Once I've gone ahead and done the U, I'm going to be going ahead and drawing the hat of the snowman. So simple rectangle and another rectangle on top. So here I have the snowman's head and I have the snowman's hat ready. Once you are done with this, you can go ahead and add in the eyes, nose, and the mouth of the snowman. So eyes, carrot nose, like you can see I've drawn. I think I've forgotten to go ahead and draw the face right now, but I will go ahead and add it in later. So I'm going to wait to just go ahead and fill in the face. Don't worry about the circle down. We will get to that in a bit. So have it till here, but don't forget the mouth like I have. Perfect. Everybody's done a good job. Now you can go ahead and do the oval at the bottom. And then another oval at the bottom. Perfect. Once you're done with this, I'm going to go ahead and add the smiley and the stick hands. Now you can go ahead and add in any accessories, maybe like a scarf. I'm adding in some buttons. So here again, use your imagination, use your creativity to go ahead and add in any elements. I normally love adding in a scarf onto the neck of my snowman. So if you want to go ahead and add in a snowman scarf, you can go ahead and do that. If you just want to add simple buttons like I have, then go ahead and add in simple buttons. Completely up to you to go ahead and do. Perfect. Everybody's done a wonderful job. Well done. Okay, now the next part of our drawing is going to be to decorate this side of our picture. First, I'm starting off with a candy cane. Now, the candy cane is very simple to draw. Just have a look at the shape I have done here. So it's basically a U and then a straight line at the bottom. So U and a straight line at the bottom. So if you haven't got the shape I've done, U and then straight line at the bottom and just a double line for that. Make sure when you do the curves, you go ahead and do curves like this for both of the ends, and you haven't gone ahead and done like straight lines. That's something that is very important. I'm just going to play that again just in case you didn't get that by any chance. So have a look. So very, very simple. Once you've gone ahead and drawn the candy cane, we're going to go ahead and add in a bunch of stripes to your candy cane, like so. Stripe, stripes, stripe. Now candy cane tends to be red and white color, so these are the stripes that I'm adding in. And there we have a candy cane stripes done. So again, I'm just going to wait for a second, just in case you've made any mistake anywhere, you've gone ahead and done something wrong. Please go ahead and correct it right away right now, so that later you don't have to go ahead and correct it out. Good job, everybody. Very, very neat. Very well done. Excellent, excellent. Good job, everybody. Very well done. Let's move on. Now, the next element for our drawing is going to be drawing a bunch of gifts. For the gifts, all I'm doing is I'm drawing a bunch of rectangles and I'm drawing some fun bunch of ribbons on top. Now, again, you can go ahead and draw whatever kind of gifts you like. Here, I've just basically gone ahead and done a simple box, a simple rectangle for the lid, a line in the center, and then a ribbon on top to go ahead and give the effect that it's a perfect, beautiful gift box. Now, I've gone ahead and done another gift box as well, not stopped at one gift box. You can do as many or as little gift boxes as you want to go ahead and do. If you feel, for example, that the bottom part of your drawing is completely empty and you feel like no, there should be a little bit more, then please go ahead and fill it in right away right now before we move on to the sky part of it. Again, waiting for a couple of seconds just in case you made a mistake. Please go ahead and correct it out. Okay, good job, everybody. Very well done. I'm seeing everybody's drawing and it's looking beautiful. Good job. Okay. So now the final element to our drawing is going to be adding snow. It's very, very important to go ahead and add snow because, it gives you that Christmas feel. Also, it adds in a beautiful background because I feel like, it completes the sky up completely and it's not like an empty spot that you just have, as is. It also complements the snowman very, very nicely. So now here I have my complete drawing. Like I mentioned earlier, the basic part of this class is going to be the drawing part of it. And after this, we're going to be moving on to the outlining coloring, which is going to be your homework. So I'm waiting here for a second, just in case you've gone ahead and made any mistakes. If you feel like you have to go ahead and make corrections, please go ahead and do that right away. And, later you don't have to struggle on how to do this. So just wait for a couple of seconds. I was waiting for a couple of seconds. Correct out any mistakes that you have made. Good. I think everybody's done a good job. Well done, everybody. So let's move on to what I have done to complete this piece. To complete this piece, what I've done is obviously I've taken a black sketch pen and I've gone ahead and outlined this whole piece completely. This is how my picture looks once it is outlined. Now, if you feel like, no, I want to go ahead and do multiple colors for outlining, like I mentioned earlier, that is completely up to you and you can go ahead and do so. For example, the tree, you want to go ahead and do it green. The candy cane, you want to probably do red, and you want to go ahead and do the presents, particular colors of the presents. Completely up to you. Please go ahead and take the liberty to do anything different in terms of your outlining and coloring, because that is a creative element of this artwork. Then go ahead and do that. So this is how my picture looks once outlined. Once the outlining was done, I took the crayons like I mentioned earlier and I went ahead and filled it in with color. So what I have done to give you a brief explanation of the coloring is I've gone ahead and used blue as part of the whole background. For the hat of the snowman, I used black. For the carrot nose, I used orange. For the candy cane and the Christmas hat, I went and used red. For the Christmas tree itself, I used green and brown. And for the gifts, I chose pink, purple, and blue. Now, here again, it is completely up to your creative imagination as to what colors you want to go ahead and do as part of your coloring. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I've gone ahead and used crayons, but if you feel like no, you want to use paint, oil pastel, soft pastel, color pencils, completely up to you. Please go ahead and do something new and fun so that you also get selected as part of that top 10. So this is how your final picture should look. So like I have showed you, that is the drawing that we have done today. I hope you had a wonderful time in understanding what the drawing is supposed to look like. And I hope you go ahead and do what you have to do now. So let's, brief out the steps of what we're going to do now. So first thing is you're going to go ahead and outline your picture. Then you're going to go ahead and fill in with color, whether it is crayons, color pencils, sketch pens, paint, whatever it is, you're going to fill in with color. After which, what we're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and click a picture and make your submission. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a certificate program now, and you attending all of your classes and making all of your submissions is very, very important. So please, please, please go ahead and attend all of your classes. Please go ahead and make all of your submissions, and also do a wonderful and neat job so you get selected as part of your top 10. It is very, very important for me to be able to see all of your artwork. It's very important for you to go ahead and make your submission so that I can encourage you further on what you can do. So again, what is the purpose of today's class? The purpose of today's class mainly was for you to learn how to depict a picture. In today's class, like you saw, we learned how to go ahead and draw the elements of Christmas, which is basically a snowman. We learned how to draw a Christmas tree. You learned how to decorate a Christmas tree. You also learned how to go ahead and draw candy cane, a few gifts. So basically creating a beautiful scenario of Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I hope I can have more fun with these kind of classes. So have a look at the submission video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode.